Let's try to find the equation involving high and low tides. We have this equation, h, which is also a function of time. You could write a function of time here if you want. And I'm going to write it as a cos bt plus m. I move the m to the right here, which is fine. And let's play with this. This is cosine, so we know it starts high, and the high tide is 20 and the low is 12. So I'm going to try to draw this here. So this is 0, and the low happens to be around 12. We'll just say it's around here. This is 12. And the high is around 20. We'll just say 20 is around here. This diagram doesn't have to be perfect. This is the height of the water. This is 20. Now I know that I'm interested in the center line, which we need to figure out is between 12 and 20. 20 minus 12 is 8, so I'm going to add 4. So when I say 12 plus 4, it's going to be 16. So this here is my center line, which helps me sketch cosine very well. So right away, the center line is m is equals to 16. I'm going to go pow, 4 subsections. And this is going to help me sketch cosine. High tide is at 20, and cosine goes quarter circle, quarter circle, quarter circle, quarter circle. So this is high tide. 12 hours later, we have low tide. So this is going to be low tide over here. So this happens to be 12 hours later. So you can see that every 6 hours we have a quarter circle, which is 6 over here. And 12 plus 12, one full cycle, would be a 24-hour day over here. So in terms of the a value, we have the amplitude is going to be the distance between the center line and the top, 16 and 20, so a is 4. And this here is one full cycle. The period is equal to 24 hours, 24. Now how does that connect with the b value? We know that the period is equal to 2 pi over b, so this happens to be 24. And we can cross multiply if we want. We can say 24b is equal to 2 pi. Going to divide both sides by 24. We have 2 pi over 24, and this simplifies to be pi over 12. So the b value is pi over 12. We found out what the equation was. Now the question is saying, what are the first 2 times after high tide? So here's high tide, in which h equals 14. So 14 would be over here, so just under here. So you would hit here, it's going to be past 6 hours, and it's going to be over here. So we can try using algebra, or you can use your graphing calculator. Essentially you're going to set the y value or the h value to be 14, and it's going to be equals to the equation. So let's write 14 is equals to the equation we just figured out, cosine of b, and b happens to be pi over 12, t, and m happens to be 16 plus 16. So as you can see here, this is probably best solved using the Desmos. So let's try that. Let's hide this work here. Let's go to our friend Desmos. Let's punch it in here. We're going to punch in y is equals to 4 cosine pi over 12. My t is my x. This is plus 16. There's my graph. It's kind of too big, so I'm just going to zoom out here a little bit so I can see things better. There we go. Just going to click on the toolbar, click on projector mode. Okay, so what we have is y is equals to 14. And so this is a 24-hour day, 0, 10 hours, 20 hours. So the first 2 times are at time is equals to 8, and time is equals to 16 hours. So here are your answers.